Hello, hello everyone. Today we will be starting a demo on all the pink and white. We are here with Stephanie, who will be doing a demonstration. If you have any questions, please go ahead and let us know. I would turn off the sound on that one so you don't have a reverb. Go ahead and turn off the sound on yours so we don't have a reverb.
I'm just watching.
I can hear it. There we go, perfect. Excellent. All right. Stephanie, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. So today I thought it would be fun to kind of go over. I get a lot of questions about the pink and white, French tips, all that kind of fun stuff. We have so many different variations and colors and all of that. So what I've done, if you look right here, we have your white glitter here. We've got your American, and then we've got the French white. So these are three options that you have when it comes to doing your pink and whites or French tips. If you prefer maybe the baby boomer style or maybe more of a ombre style, there are options there too, because we have created the Air Ombre, which helps with that particular portion of it. So I'm just going to kind of sit here and I'm going to show you. We also have, for your reference, several different pinks. So we have a dark pink, we have a natural pink, we have a pink glitter F1, pink glitter F4. We also have an extra dark pink, which I don't have out here right now, but that is another option as well. So let me just play around, shall we? We'll start with some dark pink, and I'm gonna go into the glitter so you guys can kind of see the variations. Now, when I work with French tips and the lighter colors, I usually build with the sunscreen. So a lot of people ask me, and everybody that works for us, what's the difference between your sunscreen and, let me find my product here, your natural set, okay? These are actually interchangeable. The sunscreen provides a little bit of extra protection, so it makes a great add-on, gives your customer, so for example, if you have a customer that tends to do a lot of outside work, the sunscreen becomes very helpful. I prefer to do anything with a pink and white, baby boomer, that kind of stuff, using very light colors. I prefer using sunscreen because it does give a little added bonus. Okay? The other thing is, let's go through this. The difference between our natural set sheer and our natural set powders, okay? So as you can see color-wise, I'll turn them this way, better to see that way. The natural set sheer is more like a top coat. It creates a coating over the top of your colors so that when you're doing filing, you're not filing off color. It is a necessity and has to be used when you're using any kind of a glitter. So if you are using a high glitter powder, fine glitter powder, chunky glitter powder, what this does is it gives you a natural barrier so that when you file and smooth that nail, you are not taking off the color of the glitter, because all glitter usually starts as a silver, and then it is colored, colors are added to it, so you don't want to take off, because if somebody wants pink glitter, if you file on top of it, you could end up with the silver glitter. So that's where that comes into play. Now, I would not recommend using natural set as your final top coat. It does, as you can see, have some color to it, so it will give, say, like a darker color, a cloudier look. It will affect the color, okay? Did we have any questions on that? So I'm gonna work with, and I'm gonna go ahead and build a nail like you would if you were building a nail in a salon. Okay. Okay, so I have my sunscreen, my dark pink. Brush out. Okay. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and move these off a little bit here so I have some working area. I did put so you guys can see. Look at these fabulous colors. Who's got the destination wedding? Fabulous. Trios, love these color combinations. Excellent, fun, easy, and simple. They pair. So you have the cutest couple. So you have purple that goes with the sparkly purple. The beautiful thing about this collection is like these that are solids can be done in a matte finish or a high gloss finish. So, okay, are we ready? So I'm gonna be working with our green formulation, the gel base. The difference between this formulation and this formulation is that the green gives you a little bit more working time. It doesn't dry as fast so that you can do this two-step process, okay? All right, so pretend I file shaped and buffed. I am gonna rough up the surface on this. It helps it adhere a little bit better. Okay. Dust off. All right. What I would do is I would start building my foundation levels. So foundation is about 3/4 of the nail. What you like to do is go on, wipe off, and I'm going to come back over because I want to thin this out and give it a nice even coat. And I'm gonna dip. Okay. Dust off. Now I can start with my French application, okay? So this is where you start getting, now the first time that you do the white, you're still gonna use your sunscreen. And the reason being is that I don't take it all the way to the cuticle line. I take it about 2 millimeters from the cuticle line. If I was to do it both times with the dark pink, you would get a line of demarcation where the first layer stopped and then where I go to almost to the cuticle line on the second layer. I'm going to take it into my white. Tap off. If it was a finger, I would wipe the sides and underneath, and then I would go straight into my sunscreen. Now I can move into the dark pink. Dust off. and wipe off. And see how that's taken shape? Now I go back to my sunscreen for the final.
So Stephanie, I'm going to go ahead and have you finish that one. But afterwards, whenever you have a moment, we have a question from Tracy.
Absolutely. What's her question?
Tracy would like to know, her comment is, I thought gel base was for pink and white and jealous was for color.
Correct. Absolutely. So that's exactly what I just explained. The gel base, which is your green, okay, this takes longer to dry. So this is what I tend to use if I want to work with an ombre. If I want to do pink and whites, baby boomers, absolutely. If I am just doing regular jealous color, okay, so say I'm just using one of these, this is one of our colors from our new collection, okay? When I am using this product, I would just use my jealous base, okay? If I was to attempt to use my green, it's going to be very thick and it's going to require a lot of work on the back end. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
All right, so now that I have all my coats done, I can go ahead and drop on my dry sealer. You can file, shape, and buff. The other thing that I like about our system, and especially now that we have the Air Ombre, is that creates a lot of creativity when it comes to ombres, different color tips, those kind of things. You can add a little bit more color, and I will show you here in a minute. No, you can darken this pink or the white tip up by going into one coat of a darker white. Very soft, very subtle, very pretty. Okay.
Let me go ahead and zoom in real quick just so everybody can see. That is very light. Super beautiful. Absolutely love it. Thank you.
Okay, so to give you an example, we'll work with the dark pink and we're going to use the regular French white. Come in with my foundation, okay, dust off. Build my first layer. And with my second, this is where I will go into my pink layer. And voila. Okay. I'm going to do one more coat with my sunscreen. Can add concealer dry. And that is ready to file, shape, and buff. Now, the other questions I get is the mold, okay? So, I am going to give you a little demonstration while this kind of dries and sets up, okay? If you look on our molds, you will see, let's see if I can do this without spilling half of the product. Okay, you will see a 2 and you will see a 1.
Let me go ahead and zoom into that. I'm sorry, one more time.
There's a 1 here.
Uh-huh.
And then on the other side, there's a 2. As you can see, I'm also spilling. Don't do that in your salon because you'll make a mess. Ooh, and you make an even bigger mess that way. Okay. All right, so when you are placing the finger into the mold, okay, what you want to do is you want to make sure the mold is filled up enough to really get the finger down in there. As you can see, like if I try to dip on this side, there is not enough product. You got to go quite a distance to get it to the finger to hit the product. So I would actually fill this up a slight bit more. Okay. The other suggestion is you always want to level it out in between fingers. And I'm going to ask Anna to be my demonstrator because she has some dark nails on so you can kind of see the other hand. Okay, so if I have Anna's finger, okay, part of it is the best way to do is if you set the finger down onto the mold, you do not want to grab from underneath because when you go to move, the mold hits your own hand. I don't know if you guys can see that, but see how it bumps into my own hand. So what I would actually do with their finger is I would grab from up here. This also, by holding this knuckle, prevents her from moving that finger all around because when that nail is wet, if she pushes and you're going this way and she slams that whole finger in there, you're gonna have to clean it up before correcting it. So what I want to do, so I have right now currently the one side facing Anna, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that her finger is straight on at my mold so that there's an imaginary line that kind of comes off of here, okay? Because if her finger is tilted this way or tilted this way, what happens with that is that your smile line kind of follows that and you have a cricket smile. We don't want cricket smiles, we want happy smiles. Okay, so if I set her finger down on the edge of that mold and I guide her finger in, the one side creates kind of a very straight across smile line. Can you see that? Okay. Now, clean it all off here. No picking your nose, you're gonna have powder in there. Okay, so the other way is now I have the number 2 facing Anna. That makes for a much happier, more dramatic smile line. Again, I'm gonna rest her finger and I'm just gonna guide it down in there. And you can see that makes a very pretty happy. So basically, the more parallel the nail is to the powder, okay, the more exaggerated the smile line, okay? The more straight that you come in this way, okay, the more straight across the smile line is. So if I was to just do that, it's more straight across. So that explains the mold, so that everybody kind of has a clear understanding. Holding the hand like I demonstrated from up top versus underneath gives you a lot more movement. I always hold their hand still. So when I have their hand, I hold their hand still and I move this versus allowing them to move their fingers, because of course when it's wet, if they go too far, it's easier to correct by adding more than trying to take away. Let's just put it that way, okay? So resting her finger, you can always do what I'm doing with Anna right now, practicing, okay? To get her the feel of it so that she knows to relax and to not move and force it to go. That's also a very good tip and trick to do with when you're working with nails in the salon, because you know what? A lot of women like to help. We don't need the help necessarily. The other thing that I would suggest for somebody who likes to help you is use a pouring or a feathering method, so that you can control product. So I'm going to play around. So here's DW12. We are going to create, with our new collection, an air ombre style and design. And how I'm going to use this is I'm going to use one of my other little nail here as a scooper, okay? So this is a really good way. SNS you can also pour, okay? I'm going to use the lid of one of these. So, you know, a lot of nail supply houses make shallow little dishes. So one of the other ways that you can accomplish working with SNS is you can use the pouring method. Say I want to create a new nail. So when you're working with air ombre, you always want to turn it upside down this way, and you want to roll the bottle. This loads it into the chamber, and then you want to press down one time fully to make sure that you get a good stream of powder coming out so that the product is properly loaded.
And not over other open jars.
Yeah, you definitely want to do it like and chew the trash can so you're not squirting powder all over your salon. Okay. So what you can do is, like I said, is the pouring method. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come in, I'm going to go ahead, lay down my green base, my gel base. Okay. And I would bring this is our Air Ombre 150, which is a nice white, pretty white. So I'm going to put that on the tip, and then over a tray, and just pour what I need, okay? Now, the reason why I'm encapsulating and catching it in that tray is that I can reuse it. Okay, you really need 2 trays when you're working. So what I would do, go ahead and dust that off, and I can now go over it again. Okay, use this powder. And then I can use my white. And voila. At that point, you can go over it with the coat of your sunscreen, and you have now created a nice, fun baby boomer by using our new collection and the Air Ombre. So Air Ombre gives a lot of unique aspects to design elements as far as ombres go. because you can also say I wanted to go into maybe a darker tip. A lot of times when you are working with, say, that kind of technique with SNS, you know, you have to kind of set up the darker color so you're not mixing it. So I'm going to demonstrate how you can create a nail using, I'm going to use.
We have a quick question for
Yes.
you. We have a question from Tracy, and this is her comment. I have watched Joe, Jason, and have been training in the UK, and the base application seems to be different. Why is that? I was trained 4-step with, with thin backbone stress line.
Yes, that, okay, so what, I know exactly what, yes, Tracy, our product is customizable, okay? So depending on the length of the nail, so what we teach at our basics, we teach you natural nail, which is kind of what I showed you before, which is just 3/4 of the nail, okay? The other concept we're doing is when you get into, say, a medium nail, a nail that is longer, you have to go into what you are talking about. And that is building multiple layers. The longer the nail, the more you need to work the product into a foundation for that nail, okay? This would also apply to, say, somebody had nails that tended to go up instead of go down. You can create the foundation, how to accomplish a strong foundation based on your client's needs. So for example, if I had a client that had, say, a short nail, and she had very weak nails, okay, I wouldn't necessarily do just one layer of foundation. I would break that foundation up a little bit more, because when we were talking about the foundation, that is where we absorb the stress on our nail. So if I was to crash my nail down, this is where the stressor is going to go on the nail. So that is what, the weaker the nail is, the better the foundation and the support of the nail that needs to be built into it. Okay, that's the whole point. We start with basics, and then as you go along and you acquire more information, you can now create, as long as you are leaving room around the sidewalls and the bulk of the product is staying in the center part of the nail, you can build that foundation several different ways. The rule of thumb that I like to teach my students is you always feather the layers. You never put one layer directly on top of another, because that creates bulk. You always feather the layers and you build on that. So yes, there are several different ways. There are several different ways out there. When we teach here in Orlando, that is a very basic level 1 class. When you see other people out there that work with the product, you're probably going to see several different ways, because you know what? They've worked with the product long enough and they've now customized it and they have their own unique way. Another good advice is that if you do not build the foundation properly, if somebody has a weak, longer nail and the nail is flexing, okay, where does the pressure point? The pressure comes here and the pressure comes here. So if you are using a product and their nail is very weak and they hit here, it's going to cause lifting. If you have a good foundation base, or if you do not, then it would cause cracking. Does that answer your question?
I think that settles it. Thank you so much for that.
So, what other questions do we have, ladies and gentlemen? Any other questions?
Not at the moment, but I think everyone's very excited to see that air ombre.
Okay, so I am going to I'm going to close some of these up.
Oh,
I
go
don't know
ahead
what
and
happens when Stephanie has open jars in your...
I gotcha.
All right. All right, I'm gonna pull a different color from our wedding collection. This is DW3, okay?
Would you like me to take these away too?
Yeah, I'm gonna shut these up too because I don't wanna I'm gonna work with the Air Ombre in red. We certainly don't want to get red. That's the other thing. If you are working with your products, especially when it comes to doing your French tips, always make sure, Anna, may I borrow your finger again?
Not a problem.
Okay, so if I dip her nail into, like, say, this white, okay? Come in, I'm gonna dip her nail, okay? Usually because if you see, flip your nail over, look what's underneath her nail, okay? If I was to go with this powder directly into my sunscreen, my natural set, my natural pink, my dark pink, these granules are very solidified and they're very white because this is the French white, okay? That would disperse into your product. So if I did not wipe that off, went into my pink as I'm moving along and doing more customers, all of a sudden you're gonna start noticing little white dots all into your natural pink, dark pink, whatever your base is. And that's caused from contamination of the white. So you definitely want to come in, okay? You want to wipe off. You want to, when you dip, so if I was coming in, this is the process I would use. I would come in, I would dip her finger, tap it off, okay? Tap 90 degrees. Wipe, okay? When you tap, if you tap upwards like this.
Let me go ahead and get a side angle of that just so
Okay.
everybody can see that just one more time.
This way. Okay, you want to get it better? Okay, so let me wipe her off again. Okay, so when I come in and I dip her nail, okay, I never want to do tapping here. I want to put her nail at a 90-degree angle. I want to tap it off. I want to wipe off the excess and then go into my sunscreen or my pink. The reason being is by wiping this down this way and tapping down this way, the powder's falling this way. If I tap this way, I could bounce the white back onto the wet product right here that I'm waiting to put into my sunscreen or my pink product, okay? Does that make sense? Talk to me, people, talk to me. Let me know. Am I helping?
I think that was very helpful. Thank you for that, Stephanie.
You are welcome. Okay.
More and more people are excited for ombre.
Yay! Okay, so I'm going to show you a really simple way to do an ombre that's very quick. Okay, so pre-warning, you would build the foundation first, okay? I'm just doing demonstration, so please, people, think about your foundation, build your foundations properly because your customers will be very happy with you because it'll keep their nails on. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so for this process, I'm going to use the purple, and I'm going to show you a really easy way to create an ombre look with this that's quick and easy. Okay. Go ahead, and I'm going to coat my nail. Okay. Now, put this aside. I'm going to go ahead. Voila. Simple, easy, okay? Now what I can do is I can go over it to protect the edges, okay? If you have to smooth or file and buff, go ahead and okay. So what I would do here, I come over.
And remember to always wipe off your brush too. Very important.
Oh, yes. I get probably, I don't know, several emails a day asking about, oh my goodness, I went to use my product and my brush is completely hardened in the jar, or my brush is hard, or my fluid is not running. So let me show you something, okay? So when you come in the morning, this is really important, ladies, because I think we all get bombarded with that at SNS. So see how the fluid moves in that bottle? Okay? Very fluid, okay? If you go in the morning and you pick up your bottle and that fluid moves very slow, that means you've probably already cross-contaminated the product, okay? Which means you've somehow maybe possibly come in contact with sealer dry, okay? So let me show you my process of how I clean up in the evening, because this will save you a lot of money to not cross-contaminate. And Anna, if I could ask you real quick, do we have never mind, I don't need it. I got it, never mind. Okay. Okay, so in the evening time, okay, so I'm getting ready to close up. So this is very essential. So see these fabulous little chubbed up paper towels, okay? These are going to be your godsend, okay? Now, when we are talking about working with SNS, okay, if I am working with the product and I've just painted on a nail, okay, this is not considered wiping and back in the bottle. This is considered wiping and back into the bottle, okay? One of the main reasons why we explain to use the tips of the brush like this versus this is because when I spread that brush out on there and I haven't gotten all the powder off, or I have dry sealer on there, I am working the dry sealer and the powder in between the brush bristles. So then if I just do this, am I really getting it out, all of that contamination? Nope, and I'm going right back in my bottle. That powder, the dry sealer dry goes into that bottle. If it sits overnight, your bottle, the chemical action's already starting to happen in the bottle and the contents will start to harden, okay? So you definitely want to wipe the brush, okay? You want to keep the bristles together when you are applying the product, okay? So when I apply it like this, okay? Then I can come and wipe the brush and go back in, all right? Now, at the end of the day, because sometimes when we're busy and we're flying down, you can see that, you know, this bottle has product on top of it. If I was to close this up without cleaning it, then when I come back in the next day, it's going to be really hard to open my bottle, okay? So this is what I do. At the end of the day, okay, I take my brushes, I pull them out, I wipe the excess product off, I open up my brush saver, okay, and I do that. I let that sit there for a minute. I then take one of my little chopped paper towels and fold it into a little fourth. And I'm going to drop a little acetone. Not to the point where if I squeeze it, it's all poured out, I'm just gonna go wipe around here. I'm gonna take it where it's still wet, but if I squeeze this, I don't want acetone to drip because I want to come into that ridge and clean that bottle off. See how well I've cleaned that bottle off? Okay. Now, I'm going to take my brush out of the brush saver, and I want to wipe off the brush saver. I do not want that brush saver to enter my bottle. So I want to make sure that brush is nice and dry. Everything's done. Look how wonderful the brush is. Now I can put it back in, close that bottle up, and know that when I come back in the next morning, not only am I going to be able to open it, but my fluid is still going to be doing this. Okay? So I'm going to show it one more time with this one. Here's my green and my little stack of towels. Okay, pull out, wipe off all the excess product.
Let me go ahead and show
Back and forth.
That side.
Okay, so when you're using SNS, that's a good idea, Anna. Thank you. So when you're using SNS, how we teach is you pull the brush out, and when the brush bristles come to the edge, see how I put pressure right there? What that is doing is that is taking the product off of one side, so it's empty, and all my products on this side. It allows you to control it better. And then I would drop the excess on the nail and then distribute the product, okay? What this does is allows you to keep the bulk of the product at the apex so that you are coming into the cuticle line very controlled. If you drop your product here, what happens? That it's going to run down this way and it's going to run across this way, and you're going to get too much product down around your cuticle line, and that is going to create bulk. Too much product on your cuticle line is a picker's field day for those women that are pickers, because they will feel that ridge and they'll start picking and they will pick all of your product off. Okay, clean this off. Again, I'm going to wipe off my brush. Okay, I'm gonna set it into my brush saver. Take a paper towel. Fold it into fours, okay? I always pick the one corner, and that's where I kind of put my product, okay? Again, if I squeeze, I'm not dropping anything out. This allows me to clean off the top of the bottle. It allows me to fold it and just stick that one little tiny part inside of it. You do not want to introduce acetone into your bottles or to your fluids, but you do want to make sure the top of that bottle is cleaned off very well. Can you see that, Anna?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then let me go ahead and give that side view too. Yep, completely clean, squeaky clean.
Squeaky clean.
I heard that squeak.
And again, I'm going to take the brush and I'm going to wipe off all of the brush cleaner, okay? What you're seeing is you're also reshaping your brushes at the end of the night so that they're nice and perfect for the next day.
We have one question.
Yes, I like questions.
Perfect.
Bombard me with more, please.
We have a question from Tracy, and she is asking, what is the Sunshine products?
Okay, so Sunshine products, which are a shiny top bottle, okay? They are basically, they carry less fumes, less smell, 50% less chemicals, and they're made for more of your sensitive clients. Anna's getting one of the basic purple jars, and I'm gonna show you. You might be able to find some out. But basically what this does is it's less, 50% less chemicals, so it's more of a sensitive person kind of version. But with the Sunshine brand, they have also introduced some other fun products. We have a new UV top coat. We also have a new matte top coat, okay? So for those that like a real matte look, and I can show you how to use that here in a second, the matte top coat does perfect matte. We have a UV top coat, which gives you some extra added fun, which makes the customizable experience with SNS better. So we also have that as well to use in the Sunshine line. Does that answer everybody's question? So why don't I show you one of the matte colors. Let's see. How about I work on, this is DW12 from our wedding collection. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 2 nails. I'm gonna do one in a regular finish and I'll do one in a matte finish for you guys so you can see. Dust off my mess here. Yeah, to get into these. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're gonna do, and I'm just gonna show you a quick version of the difference between matte and regular. Everybody enjoying? Hey, happy President's Day, peeps. It is that day. Okay. I'm gonna do this one. Okay, now.
Tracy says thank you. You're very welcome, Tracy.
Yay!
We are here to help.
Okay, so I'm gonna dry seal. Is it dry seal. Why do I always call that backwards? I think I need more coffee. I'm trying to cut out caffeine in the morning. I might not be successful at that. Just saying. Okay, so here we go.
The purple bottles are
This
jealous.
is, yes. So, okay, so this is what I'm talking about. When you see how this is a solid bottle, this is our original formulation. This is our Sunshine, okay? So Sunshine Jealous Base. All right. If you guys are going into your distributor locations, ask for it if you don't see it, okay? And let us know. Okay, so I would...
Also, if you're inside of the United States, you can start placing orders on our website at snsmeals.com. Michelle is asking, is the Jealous base as strong as the, the Jealous base in the Sunshine line as strong as the original?
It's the same. It just has less chemicals in it. So I personally have not experienced any difference between using the too.
When it comes to strength.
I don't see any difference there either. So
If you have any clients that are very that have allergies, that are very sensitive, we definitely recommend using the Sunshine line so you don't have any adverse reactions.
okay, all right.
There's a lot less, virtually no smell.
Okay, so here's our matte base. When you're using matte, you want to be sure to do a little shake, shake, shake. Okay, there we are. See, love this top. Okay, so, and here's our regular. Okay, so.
Can we show those side by side really quick again? Just right next to each other. Sorry. I just want to make sure everyone can see it. Perfect. Beautiful. Thank you so much for that,
Okay.
Stephanie.
So one I'm going to do, and it's the same process. So first coat, you want to come in with a thin coat. I'll set this one over here because that's the shine. And I would allow those to dry, okay? As it dries, you will notice that this one is going to get less and less shiny. This one is going to stay shiny, and this one's probably dry enough to do a second coat. Now, you can see the difference. You probably can't see on camera, but I can see that there's still a little bit of wet area in there. I definitely want that to dry before I come in with a second coat of my top coat.
But it dries pretty fast.
It does dry fast. I'm gonna do one more coat.
We have one more question for you.
Yay!
Elisa is asking, before the matte gel, do you not use a sealer dry?
I didn't use it because, ladies, I'm working on nail swatches, okay? Yes, you follow the same process you would do for the top coat. I just don't add it to these because, first of all, I did not build the foundation. Second of all, it's not a real nail, so I'm not going to have to worry about the product being dry because it's on the plastic. So yes, you would normally do a second coat of that. So as you can see, it's starting to dry. Look at that. One's a matte. So do we have any other questions? Look at there. Both dry, both beautiful. Can finish up with the nail oil. Okay. So what else do you want to see? And you know what? I'm also going to tell you guys, Anna has done a lot of really cool things with the website. Make sure though, because we are, doing a lot of updates, to clear your caches. before you go back into it, because sometimes you won't pick up the new things that we've added. One of the really cool things, she added Just My Color, which is you're able to pick skin tone, and then you can pick nail shape, and then you can go through our collections and pick an actual nail color and see what it looks like, which is a very powerful tool to use in the salon as well. Okay. Oh, that was a good catch, Anna. I almost got clobbered in the head. Maybe it'll knock some sense in me. Doubt it. Just doubt it. Let you know right now. Okay. So, the other white with lots of sparkles and glitter. And I am here to tell you, this is your winner. Okay. I'm going to do a solid nail just in the glitter white, so you can see how absolutely beautiful it is. This is a great color for women that just want a little bit of color, not too much, but it's absolutely beautiful. I like to use, this is one of my favorite colors to use alone.
I have one more question for you.
Yes.
We have Emanuela here. And
Hi, Emanuela.
And she is asking, her comment is, I use gel base. And the brush got spread wide. How do I fix it so the brush goes back to the normal shape?
What that sounds like to me, is it could possibly be contamination in your product. So think about it this way, ladies. If I am working with a brush, okay, I'm going to use this brush. So actually, you know what? I'm going to use a dry. Okay, so here's just a regular brush. Okay, oh, Anna's got one. Perfect. Okay.
Boom. There we go.
So here we go. So when you are working with our product, okay, if I am dipping in a powder, okay, and I'm using this brush, and I say I do not dust off the powder around the brush properly, and I go over it and I'm doing one of these jobs where you're taking and you're spreading that up. What you are doing in that process as you drag it along is you're loading the dust into that brush, okay? Then you stick it into the jar and it gets very goopy, and over time it'll cause the brush to blow up. The cross-contamination into the product will cause the product to start moving very slow. When that happens, the brush will kind of, like as the product hardens, the brush fans out. So if your brush is like that, again, that means you've cross-contaminated. So I will go over the process one more time on how to clean up at the end of the day, on how to work for cross-contamination. So what I do is see these fabulous little stack right here. Great child labor. I make my son do this, chop these all up, okay? He's 11, so I'm okay with the scissors before anybody has a heart attack. No. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm gonna always keep these in mass in my salon, because this is one of the things that you're gonna use quite frequently, okay? Now, I'm gonna go over another thing. So, the dry sealer. The dry sealer is made to harden down our product, okay? So, say I'm working and I move on to my dry sealer and I do this and I wipe like that, okay? Don't think about it. Now I come in and I'm not gonna use a real brush, because if I do, I'll harden it down, okay? But I just wanna show you an example. I'm gonna use one of these little brushes. Actually, I'll use this. This is kind of a product that's starting to go wonky. So if I was to come and I just finished painting and I wipe this brush over where I wiped the dry sealer, I have just contaminated my brush. And if I put it back into the bottle like that, that bottle has been contaminated, which means in a matter of, depending on how much dry sealer you picked up, a few days, something like that, the product's gonna start getting a little, like the way it rotates. The other thing is, look at this bottle. I don't know if you guys can see it. if I put it down, it has a little bit of a red tint to it, okay? What that means is that when I was working, I didn't clean off my red powder enough, and I have transferred the powder into this bottle. I also want you to see how the movement is in this bottle, because you know what? It's been contaminated. In fact, even if I hold it up to the light, which you probably won't see, you can see powder in there, floating around in there, okay? That powder, the dry sealer, all of that you transfer into those bottles is what ruins your product. It's what hardens your brushes down, destroys your brushes, hardens your product, and makes it very difficult to work with. So that's why my thing is, when you do dry sealer, you immediately throw that paper towel away, you get a new one. When you are wiping off a brush, and I'm gonna actually hold this up, okay? So when I wipe off a brush, I don't do just this, okay? I do this, okay? If I've been working and I say, oops, you know what? I think I contaminated this brush, okay? How I work is I always take the brush out of this product. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it today. Voila, okay? See? Toss that. You don't need it. It's not going to do anything for you. It's been sitting in brush cleaner. Okay? So say I contaminated my product I'm working with. I immediately come in. I'm going to pop that out. So I have this, and I'm going to set it in there. Okay? And then I am going to let that soak, okay? I'm gonna take my actual bottle with the product, okay? Again, I'm gonna take a little bit of acetone right here, okay? And I'm just going to add a little bit in the corner right here. Okay? And I'm going to wipe around the lid. Okay? And I'm going to take that little corner. I make sure that when I squeeze it, acetone's not dripping everywhere. And I'm just going to come into the inside of it right here and wipe along the bottle. Okay? So that my bottle looks nice and clean. Okay? Then what I could do, say I'm working, okay, and say I go, oh my gosh, I think I cross-contaminated my bottle. That's where I can pop out the brush. I can put this into my contaminated brush into my brush cleaner. I can close it up and I can set that aside, okay? And then what I can do is I keep several of these at my So I keep a bunch of these, you know what I'm saying, in my drawers. So what I can do is I can pop one of those right back into here like this, and I can put it on and I can continue to work, okay? My contaminated brush is cleaning. Then at the end of the night, after I've cleaned my bottles, I can close this up. I can go back to my brush saver. I can pull this one out, clean it up, dry it out, and this can go back in with my collection of brushes so that the next day I have replacements in case I feel like I've contaminated something. Everybody caught that? Does that make sense? Any more questions? Look at me, I'm making a mess. Okay. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop back to my fun glitter. Those that watch this know that Glitter is my favorite thing. Look at that. How beautiful. Okay. So I'm going to work with my purple. Anna, can I have that bottle of purple back? Fabulous. Okay. So what I'm going to do,
Someone is asking, what number is that white sparkle?
it's called, it has no number,
It's not part of the Jealous collection. It's part of the pink and white
collection, and it's White Glitter F3.
White Glitter F3.
Okay, so that's the first layer. It's like Cinderella. This also goes really nice with some of our winter collection. I mean, this color will merge with anything and everything. But for those ladies that just kind of like a little bit and not a lot, it's just really beautiful the way that the glitter is distributed through the product. And it's a holographic glitter, so it adds a lot of shine, and it's also a very fine glitter. I don't know if you guys are aware, but SNS uses very, all kinds of different glitter variations in their product, for between fine glitters, microfine glitters, chunky glitters.
We have a question.
Yes.
Which white glitter is the most popular?
Oh, wow. You know what? Whew. There are some in the original collection, which I would have to look at numbers. Okay, with over 450 colors, it's hard to remember exact numbers, but I want to say number 98 was one of my favorites.
So I'm gonna try
I wish Siobhan was on, because she would know. She's my little number double checker. She's awesome. There's also in the new collection, there is this DW08, which is a pretty white. It's a little bit more solid, with a little bit more gray undertone versus the white that I'm using in the collection. I also want to say there's a couple of other white glitter, and I can't think of the numbers right now. Looking for natural set sheer here.
If you would like to see all of our colors and check out our color guide, we just posted a comment with that information. You can see that guide directly. We will also go ahead and post the written instructions on how to apply SNS with and without tips. Absolutely free. We recommend everybody downloading it and printing it out just so you could have a reference guide in your salon.
Are you talking about, Anna, are you talking about the downloaded?
Yep.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something about that manual. That will give you variations of building. So it shows you how to build a foundation with a tip. Now the tip foundation building can also be applied for longer lengths of nails, okay? Okay. Let's try.
All right, perfect. So ladies and gentlemen, we will be wrapping up shortly here. If you have any questions, please let us know.
Also, you know what? Comment below if there is something that you want to see. When we do these live feeds, Anna goes back and looks at everything, does everything. If you get off of this live feed and you go, oh, I wanted to see this, or oh, I wish I would have shown that, please go back to these live feeds and comment. Let us know, communicate with us, and we will accommodate you.
Send us a message on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram,
Twitter,
anything.
YouTube.
Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you're looking for. and we will try to accommodate you guys in every way we can.
We do Cyber Monday, Cyber Demo Mondays every 2 weeks.
Every other week.
Or I'm sorry, yes, every other week. We will be on with Mr. Joe sometime this week as well. We will be making announcements on our social media.
Okay, so I can add another coat of dry sealer.
What is the last coat that you just applied?
Okay, I applied 2 coats of the white glitter F3, and I did a final coat of the natural set sheer, because remember earlier when I was talking, when I use glitter products, I like to use my natural set sheer over that to protect the glitter, so I'm not taking away the holographic of the glitter. Okay?
And is that only for glitters?
You can file that off. That's for all glitters. You always want to put our natural set sheer over that to protect that glitter. Glitter starts out silver, so you don't want to take off the coloring and the effect of the glitter.
We have one more question for you.
Oh, yes. Oh, I like the questions, ladies. Okay, I'm all ears.
For the ombre pump, can you refill with regular powder?
No, I do not believe you can open those bottles and reclose them again. I don't think you can.
The way that powder is made is much finer than the regular powders, and what you will do is you will clog that pump if you try to put regular powder inside of it.
But the way that the bottle is designed, it's designed for a one-time use. So once the bottle is closed, if you try to open it, you will break the seal and you won't be able to close it again. Looky there. That's just one coat of your top coat.
May I see that? Boom. There
Ooh
we
la
go.
la! Sparkles for everyone!
All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here.
Awesome, kids. Thank you for tuning in. You can also find me on Facebook. I will go on later on with my Facebook, and I will comment on the comments so you can find me. Send me a friend request. I always try to help everybody. All right?
All right.
Peace out.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.